fire the fucking Senate parliamentarian already, Chuck Schumer. Or don't. It's probably more complicated than that, but, you know, outrage sells, so I was going to lead with that. Stick around for more about the situation with the $15 minimum wage on today's... Yeah, that's After Effects, baby. I'm getting pretty good with it because that only took me 7 hours. Anyway, so yeah, there was supposed to be a $15 an hour minimum wage in the big COVID relief bill, but the Senate parliamentarian says they can't. So now they're not going to. Saying to someone who's trying to make rent, right, at 2021 wages, at 2021 rent prices on a $7.25 minimum wage, that you can't do anything for them because the Senate parliamentarian says you can't, is like somebody going to the hospital with their critically ill loved one, and the doctor's saying, well, we'd like to help, but there are some very important points in the hospital bylaws that just say we can't. Nobody knows what a parliamentarian is, and nobody cares. Okay, I realize it's more complicated than that, right? There are good reasons, and I am sympathetic to them, why the Democrats, especially in a cycle like this one, are interested in being the party that follows the rules, the party that does things by the book. That was part of what they sold themselves as in the last electoral cycle, and it makes sense to maybe not throw that out entirely. There's also the question of, okay, what happens the next time we're the minority party? But remember, the last time they were the minority party and the Senate parliamentarian said that the Senate Republican senators couldn't do what they wanted to, Trent Lott just fired the parliamentarian. Just fired him. And so what the Democrats really have to worry about, right, Senator Schumer, what they really have to worry about is that they look like they're being held back because they want to be held back. Because they don't really want to do all the things that they say that they were going to do, right? Let me tell you about this in one of my trademark stories. I'll tell you a story about the only time I almost got into a physical altercation as an adult man. It was in college. And what happened was, me and some friends of mine built a okay, it was over a snow fort. Built a snow fort. It's a big fratty type guys knocked it down, and this made me very upset. And I ran out into the snow and started screaming at them, increasingly unlikely things that I was going to do. By the end of it, I was in like cartoon villain territory. I was threatening to like erase their name to the 7th generation or something. Like it was unlikely. And all the time I'm writing all these checks, saying all these things that I think I'm eventually going to have to cash in. And I start to kind of head towards all 6 of them. And at that point, my friend who had followed me out of the dorm just slides his arm through my elbows and just kind of yanks me back. And it just sort of says, Andy, there's 6 of them. We're not doing that. Which was actually kind of whispered in my ear. It was a surprisingly intimate moment. There's a whole aside here about how men in the late 20th century, the only way they could be affectionate with each other, straight men in America, was to like bury that affection in violence. There's a whole other thing there, but let's not talk about that now. This whole vlog is for aside, so I had to put it in the aside. But anyway, right? I mean, my feeling in my head the moment that happened was one of profound relief, right? Because now I didn't have to try to do all the unlikely things I said I was going to try to do that I didn't know how to do. Like, I have no understanding of how to do violent things to people. I've none, right? And now I didn't have to. I didn't have to try. Now I didn't have to, get my face all messed up trying to fight some people I didn't want to fight, and I didn't know how to fight. And yeah, that's what you end up looking like. You end up looking like you're being held back because you want to be held back, which I don't think is quite true. I think the Democrats have reasons why they want to do this way or that way, and they, are not actually, regardless of what some folks who are very online leftists want to say, I don't think that's actually what's happening. But man, it starts to look that way. So they really need to do something. Fire the parliamentarian, have the vice president overrule the parliamentarian, just nuke the filibuster, and have a straight up or down vote on the $15 minimum wage. Something. Do something. Because otherwise, like, that's the thing they need to remember, is that the Republicans only have to get the country to believe that the Democrats don't really mean what they say, right? To depress turnout and stay in power. That's as far as they need to get, right? That's as far as they need to get. And in the meantime, we're gonna have to think about how we can get a better Senate in 2022. We have a pretty great candidate running for the seat here in Pennsylvania. I'm psyched about that, right? John Fetterman, psyched about him. What we need is a great candidate for Ohio. I maybe there's one out there I haven't heard of, but I do have an idea. We take John Fetterman. We have him spend some time with some associates of mine from the planet Camino in a galaxy far, far away. And what we get back, Boba Fetterman. And then we run that guy for Ohio, right? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Anyway, that's my space take for today. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe, and continue my debilitating after effects problem, which is eating my life. But I love it. So yeah, just keep tuning in. I will see you next time, whenever that is. Signing off from space.